everybody, Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I have one from, actually, Breakthrough. It's not a Breakpoint deck, unfortunately, but, I mean, I still really like this deck. It's kind of cool, it's very fast and very fun, and that is a deck centered around Typhlosion. And before I get into it, just a reminder that if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, and maybe subscribe. It really helps us out a ton and lets us do more for you guys. And also, just to let you guys know that if you have a request for a deck, please just leave it in the description and I will do what I can to respond to and see if I can get one of those decks and put it out for you guys. But anyway, like I said, this deck is centered around Typhlosion from Breakthrough with the Massive Eruption attack. Discard the top 5 cards of your deck. This attack does 80 damage times the number of energy cards you discarded. That is, I mean, it's has the potential for 400 damage if you discard all 5 energy cards. So there are definitely some different ways to run this deck. I mean, you could run it with like about half energy or even over half energy just to go kind of speed Typhlosion, but I decided to make it a little bit more balanced. As a result, you're not always hitting for massive amounts of damage, but it's a little bit more consistent than the complete speed Typhlosion setup. And Typhlosion also has the Flare Destroy attack, does 130 and discard an energy attached to this Pokemon, discard an energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon. Not really that great, so we don't really use it that often. We are running a 4-2-4 line of Cyndaquil, Quilava, and Typhlosion. There is no reason that we wouldn't run 4 Cyndaquil and 4 Typhlosion because this is actually it is the only attacker in the entire deck. So if all 4 of your Typhlosion get knocked out, you're kind of up a creek without a paddle. And we are also running a 2-2 line of Remoraid and Octillery just for some continued draw support later in the game. As for the items, we are running 2 of the, let's see if I can pull it up, there we go, Energy Retrieval. This is the first time, or Recycler. This is the first time I have used this card. Shuffle 5 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. Basically, this is phenomenal for increasing the ratio of energy card to the rest of the deck and gives you a better chance to draw into that or discard it when using Massive Eruption. So we're running 2 of those just to get them back into the deck. 3 Rare Candy to go straight from Quilava. 2 Typhlosion, you want to be attacking turn 2. If you're not attacking turn 2, that means one of your Quilava one of your Cyndaquil will probably get knocked out. And did I say go straight from Quilava to Typhlosion? I meant Cyndaquil to Typhlosion. But anyway, Rare Candy lets you go straight from Cyndaquil to Typhlosion, and the 1 energy attack lets you attack turn 2, and that's the goal of this deck. If you're not attacking by turn 2, you basically don't really have a shot, because then a Cyndaquil gets knocked out and then you're down to 3 total Typhlosion at the absolute most, and yeah, that doesn't really work. 1 Sacred Ash, because yes, our Cyndaquil do get knocked out quite a bit, and also you might have to discard Typhlosion's turn 1 in order to just draw into more cards, so this way you can throw them back into the deck. Running 4 Ultra Ball. I mean, I could run some Level Ball and stuff, but I decided to just stick with Ultra Ball to guaranteed get what I need every single time. Admittedly, all but Typhlosion can be found with Level Ball, but I just like that Ultra Ball lets you get guaranteed what you want every single time. 4 VS Seeker to reuse our supporters. I mean, let's face it, we need to use a supporter every single turn, and the amount of energy, you can't run multiple of very many supporters, so VS Seeker is great for being able to reuse those. And as for the supporters, we have a single Blacksmith. Now, we are normally only attacking for 1 energy. However, I mean, sometimes we can go for a Flare Destroy or something like that. I mean, it's good if you just want to like discard an energy attached to your opponent if you don't want to discard your deck. But I mean, Blacksmith is also good for if you don't have any energy in your hand and you have a VS Seeker, well, you can just go ahead and power up a Typhlosion in 1 turn with the Blacksmith. We were running 1 Bridget just to get our basic Pokemon out turn 1, just get a bunch of them onto the bench. 4 Sycamore to just completely redraw our hand, get a guaranteed fresh 7 cards, and discard some other stuff in the process. 1 Skyla in case we want to look for like a Sacred Ash or a Rare Candy or something like that to get a Typhlosion up immediately. 1 Teammates because our Cyndaquil will more than likely be knocked out, well, the first one anyway, so Teammates can grab a Rare Candy and a Typhlosion, or just whatever you need, so Teammates is great for that. 2 Training Centers because we want to give Typhlosion as much HP as possible, and with this, Typhlosion actually gets 180 HP as a non-EX, so that is incredible for sustaining Typhlosion's longevity and keeping Typhlosion out there, and also it is a non-EX that hits for a ton of damage, so Training Center really helps with that. 2 Muscle Band, because that way Typhlosion will be able to knock out 180 HP EXs with Massive Eruption if you just discard 2 energy. You hit a magic number of 180 with 2 energy and a Muscle Band. And then we are running a whopping 20 Fire Energy. I think that is the most energy I have ever run in a single deck, but that is because you want at least 2 Fire Energy to be discarded every single time you use Massive Eruption. Sometimes you'll go for more, sometimes you'll go for less, but I like this number because it gives you right around a, it makes up 33% of your deck, and you want to have right around a 40% chance of, well, you have a 40% chance of getting 2 energy in the 5 cards. I mean, that actually didn't make sense at all. Okay, so the proportion of the 5 cards that you need to discard with Massive Eruption is 40% in order to be able to hit for the magic 160, and 20 gets you at 30%, 33% of your entire deck. So I figured that was close enough. I could tinker with the number more, but I like this number because it allows you to run some item cards and a good amount of supporter cards to help with the consistency as well. But anyway, I realized I was just rambling, so let's just go ahead and see this deck in action. Alrighty, we have found one against a Charmander EX004 with a Fairy deck, so hopefully this deck doesn't just overwhelm us in the first turn and we are able to do something against them. Well, we do lose the coin flip, which is pretty unfortunate because that doesn't mean, that means that we will not be able to evolve first, but I guess we do get we get a solid start. I mean, I could definitely have gotten better. But, I mean, I don't mind the start. I do want some form of a draw supporter next turn. The good thing is my opponent will have to wait a turn before being able to Geomancy. Yeah, he just has to pass the turn right there. As I get a Fire Energy, I'm just going to go ahead and bridge it to get Cyndaquil. And you know what? I'm going to get all 3 Cyndaquil onto the bench. I'm just going to put 1 energy on this guy and then go for a tackle for a massive 10 damage. I mean, that is a ton of damage right there. What I'm hoping next turn is I can get something to where I can find a Typhlosion next turn. So my opponent will more than likely Geomancy this turn just to get some energy in play. He does have a turn 2 Aromatisse, and it looks like my opponent is going to, I guess, try to start knocking things out with Rainbow Spear, or at least that would be my guess. But I would think that this turn he would just try to Geomancy, yeah, get some energy in play. He will, with the Aromatisse, be able to hit for a Rainbow Spear next turn if that's what he decides to do. And so I'm in top deck mode, and I have to hope that I get something good. I do get a VS Seeker that really doesn't help, so what I am actually going to do is just go ahead and Quilava, get the Quilava. The Quilava will die next turn, but I mean, it's not the end of the world, and then I'm going to go ahead and bridge it, try to get the other Remoraid out onto the bench, and then I'm just going to go for a mini Eruption, hopefully thin my deck a little bit more. So it was a Fire Energy, so Quilava was able to hit for a decent amount that turn. Unfortunately, it will go down if my opponent decides to Rainbow Spear this turn, which it does look like that is exactly what he is doing. And it's interesting, I mean, I'm seeing a Flabebe, so this looks like a Florges deck? I'm not sure, but that's just what it seems like to me. I'm really hoping that I can somehow get a Typhlosion or a Octillery or something, because oh, that was beautiful. That was so amazing. Oh my goodness, that was awesome. So what I am going to go ahead and do is attach the energy to Cyndaquil, go for a Teammates, grab a Typhlosion and an Octillery. Yes, let's go ahead and see how many Typhlosion are in the deck total. There was 1 that I grabbed, there's 1 there, there's 1 there. Okay, so all 4 are in the deck. That is great. Let's go ahead and Octillery. Let's go ahead and Rare Candy up the Cyndaquil into Typhlosion. Let's go ahead and Abyssal Hand, and I think we will be able to knock out, well, I mean, fingers crossed we'll be able to knock out this Xerneas this turn. Let's go ahead and put a, do I want to go ahead and Sacred Ash this turn? I don't think so. I'm just going to go for a massive eruption, and we hit for 260 damage, taking a prize, and that is the power of Typhlosion. I even have a VS Seeker to get another teammates if my opponent can somehow knock me out, but doesn't look like it, and what I think I might do is Sacred Ash back in the Cyndaquil and then VS Seeker for the Bridget, although I might just keep the VS Seeker in my hand for a teammates just in case I need it. I'm curious to see what my opponent will go for. He might try to... Yeah, I think he's going to try to confuse my Typhlosion this turn. I would assume that's what he's going to go for. Yeah, because he will be able to move energy onto the Florges and Wondershine to confuse my Typhlosion, but what I think I'm going to go ahead and do is just sacrifice a Cyndaquil next turn. Is that what I want to do? So I'm in... so Typhlosion is confused now, and I can't retreat very well. So what I think I'm going to go ahead and do is attach one energy to Cyndaquil, Ultra Ball away 2 fire energy to grab another Octillery. Yes. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and... I think... I'll go ahead and... No, I don't want to Sacred Ash just yet. I'll go ahead and Abyssal Hand, get some more cards. We do get a Training Center. I think I'm going to hold out on that for now. Let's go ahead and Ultra Ball away the Training Center and the Fire Energy to grab a Quilava. And I think we are in an okay spot right now, because what I can do is try to go for the massive eruption. We get Tails, that stinks because now Typhlosion will more than likely go down, but I do basically have a teammates in my hand, and so I think I'm okay for now. He will be able to Wondershine and knock out my Typhlosion, but what I can do is just VS Seeker for a teammates and a Sacred Ash back in the Typhlosion and Cyndaquil and be in a pretty okay position, because my opponent will be slowly running out of energy, and as long as I get I think as long as I can knock out the Florges. Okay, so my opponent's just going to go for a Rainbow Spear. He will hopefully lose his energy next turn, because I should be able to knock him out. So okay, my opponent goes for that. I'm going to go ahead and Sacred Ash, get back all of these guys, get back all 5, maximize my Sacred Ash. Let's go ahead and VS Seeker for the teammates. Go ahead and grab, let's go ahead and grab a Typhlosion, and what I think I'm going to do is grab the Energy Recycler. How many energy in the discard pile? 10. So that is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and play that onto the Typhlosion, play this onto the Cyndaquil, play the Energy Recycler, get 5 back into the deck. That was actually kind of an error on order of operations on my part, because what I should have done is Abyssal Handed before I did the Energy Recycler, just because it would have increased the ratio of stuff that I have. And I even get another Quilava, so that's pretty solid. And what I am going to go ahead and do is Abyssal Hand again, draw 1 more. It is another Fire Energy, and I think I'm going to go ahead and Energy Recycler, get the next 5 Fire Energy into my deck, and hopefully knock out this, this Xerneas right here. Nope, I do not, because I discard a ton of stuff, none of which, and only like 1 of them was a Fire Energy, so that was very unfortunate. My deck is hugely Fire Energy at this point, so my opponent will be able to get a Rainbow Spear off this turn if he chooses. However, that will eliminate all of his energy in play, and I am actually completely okay with that. No, it won't. Oh, right, I forgot about Wondershine. So what I am going to go ahead and do is play this onto the Typhlosion on the bench. Go ahead, I think, and play an energy onto... Play an energy onto the Octillery. Let's go ahead and Abyssal Hand, see if we can get something good. Get another Fire Energy and an Ultra Ball. What I can do is get rid of 2 Fire Energy to grab a Typhlosion. So, okay, 2 Cyndaquil are in the discard pile. That was unfortunate. So what I am just going to do at this point is Massive Eruption, and I hit for a ton of damage right then. Would have been nice to hit it the first time, but you know what? You can't always get what you want. So my opponent will go into his Aromatisse at this point. I think he's going to try to power up the Florges in the background. We are in danger of decking out at this point, so what I am probably going to do is go for the Flare Destroy with the Blacksmith and discard an energy from Typhlosion, just so I can like keep attacking, but at the same time not discard too much stuff from my deck. I do need a couple turns of just, you know, holding off my opponent for the time being. And also the Blacksmith will give me the opportunity to retreat into my Typhlosion on the bench, so that is pretty solid. I wonder what my opponent's going to do. He's going to attack with this. Huh. So my opponent is going to get rid of all of his energy in play to get rid of my Typhlosion. So all of the entire game rides on this Typhlosion at this point. I just kind of have to ride it out with this guy and see what all happens. So what I actually can do is go ahead and I think, I could go for the teammates right now, but I don't think that is the right move at all. Because 3 of my Cyndaquil are in the discard pile. I have no way of getting them back because I already used the Sacred Ash. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and Blacksmith, put 2 energy onto my Typhlosion. I only want to Flare Destroy if I have to. Let's go ahead and put 1 there. And, well, I only want a Massive Eruption if I have to. Let's go ahead and Flare Destroy, get all of the energy off of my opponent, discard 1 energy, and, I mean, yeah, that's fine. I wonder, So we do get another Fire Energy. That is a shocker. I mean, it's not the end of the world, because a Fire Energy is actually what I would kind of like at this point. So my opponent will be able to, I think, Sycamore this turn, yeah, because he gets an energy onto his Florges on the bench, and he needs, I think he needs a turn or 2 to be able to, he needs another turn to be able to power up that Florges, and if we can somehow get the Xerneas in, that will be great. So what I am going to do right now is put an energy on the Typhlosion and go ahead and Flare Destroy, get rid of the Flabebe, get another prize card, and at this point I think the game is going to come down to Confusion Flips. We already got unfortunate on 1. I'm hoping that we will be okay on another. I do have enough energy on Typhlosion at this point actually to retreat into Octillery, then manually retreat Octillery and go back into Typhlosion and then Massive Eruption. So that might be actually my plan at this point, because my opponent will, well, I think he's dedicated, he's already committed the energy to the Florges Break, so all I need to do is get 2 Fire Energy into my discard pile to be able to, well, yeah, just discard 2 of the Fire Energy to be able to knock him out. I have a, what do I have? I have a Blacksmith in my hand if I want to, if I really want to get the, in order to be able to power up the Typhlosion. So I think that is my play at this point. I really have to worry about that right now, because what I'm going to have to do is go ahead and I have to retreat into Octillery for this turn because my Confusion won't let me do anything. So I think I'm just going to have to pass this turn, because I remembered that I can't do anything else. Like I can't do like I can't do a double retreat because I don't have any switching cards. So I mean, that's where this deck falters a little bit. All I have to do is just pray that my opponent does not have a Lysander at this point. So what I am going to do is just end the turn there, and then I will manually retreat Octillery next turn to try to knock out the Florges Break. So another thing my opponent could do is transfer all of the energy off of his Florges Break onto his Xerneas EX. I think that would give him the game if he did that, unless he tries to, I guess, or he's just going to attack the Octillery. I think that was a choke by my opponent. I mean, unless he has, if he has a DCE and a Muscle Band, he wins. But for right now, I'm going to retreat into my Typhlosion and go for a Massive Eruption, get 4 fire energy, that is great. Unfortunately, I need... So I have a Pokemon, I have a training center, which is good, but I do need, how many energy am I going to discard? About 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, crud. I'm not in a very good position at this point, so what I think I'm going to have to do is go for a Flare Destroy this coming turn, as my opponent will go for a... He will go for a Breakthrough, but I only have 1 energy left, and I really... Okay, so my opponent does knock out the Octillery. I only have 1 energy left in the deck, so that is very unfortunate. What I will have to do is go ahead and put that there, go ahead and put this energy on Typhlosion, and then Flare Destroy, discard this, and then discard the DCE from the Xerneas, and then pray that he can't attack next turn. If he has a DCE, my opponent will win. If not, we will win. I wish I was able to go for a Massive Eruption, but unfortunately, we were not able to go for one at this point. So my opponent does get a Sycamore. He'll probably be able to draw into that DCE and win the game. Either way, this was a very, very good game. Typhlosion was able to hit for a ton of damage. Unfortunately, we got kind of unlucky on one of the Flare Destroys where we only discarded a single energy. Yep, there is the DCE. My opponent does win, because, we can't attack anymore, so that was a great game. Unfortunately, we do lose because, 1 Flare Destroy discarded 2 Cyndaquil, and there was absolutely nothing we could do about that. I can go ahead and see what the last 2 cards in my deck were. I can just teammates at this point. Go for teammates, see what the last 2 were. Fire Energy and a Skyla. If I had only discarded like a couple Fire Energy at one point, then I would have been okay, but unfortunately I discarded 4 Fire Energy at a very poor time to discard 4. I only needed 2, but I discarded 4, which really just kind of shut down any chance I had of winning the game. So that unfortunately will be the game. We do lose, but it's not the end of the world, because the deck worked pretty well. Just got very unfortunate on the order of cards at one point, because discarding 2 Cyndaquil in a single turn with a Massive Eruption was very, very unfortunate and limited our opportunities, because as you saw, we have a Typhlosion and a Rare Candy in our hand at this point. But oh well, there's really nothing I can do about that. But that is the deck, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.